Hello, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Today, playing an Orzhov Taxes-like deck in Historic Best of 3. Before I get into the deck, the usual YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and all the information is in the description as usual. So, this is a deck that I ran into sometime last week, I think, when I was filming a different deck, and it really intrigued me. The idea behind the deck, from my opponent's point of view, was that they were playing hand disruption, things like Inquisition of Kozilek and Thoughtseize, and then following that up with Silver Quill Silencer. Now, Silver Quill Silencer is a card that has intrigued me since it came out in Strixhaven, but I haven't really figured out how to use it. At first, I was putting it in a human shell, then I tried it in a more typical Death and Taxes type deck. None of them really clicked with me, but I think this make of the deck is a little bit more interesting, and I wanted to share it with you all today. So, as I said before, we are playing the hand disruption package. We have Thoughtseizes, we have Inquisition, 4 of each. Next, we have our removal main board, Fatal Pushes, and 3 Vanishing Verses. In the sideboard, we have a lot more removal, things like Declaration in Stone, Doomblade, Wrath of God, Baleful Mastery. So, tons of control as far as creature control goes in this deck. To add to the element of creature control, we are playing some creatures that do that as well, of course. Playing a couple of Rankles. If we can get out in front of the opponent, I think Rankle's going to come down and really make it hard for the opponent to either keep anything in their hand or to stick anything on the board. Murderous Rider is a fantastic removal spell. It's a hyped up murder. It can kill a creature. It can kill a planeswalker. Sure, we have to pay 2 life, but that's fine. It's instant speed. And then it's a life-linking 2/3 body that will go back into the deck if it ever dies. Just a great underappreciated card, I think. And then, of course, the card that's certainly not underappreciated, Skyclave Apparition, as a 4 of in the deck, because this card is just bonkers. So, the next bit of cards are the kind of taxation cards. Now, we are only playing 4 different ones at a total of 12 cards, so it's not a huge amount of disruption in the deck, but it is an element to the deck that I think is going to give the opponents some trouble. We're playing 2 Thalias, so we can tax non-creature spells. Of course, we are playing a good number of non-creature spells ourselves, but I think we can play around it because we are playing a good number of lands, and we want the games to go into the mid and late game with this deck. Silver Quill Silencer, I already mentioned. I think it's a great card. It's probably going to die quite often, but it is a 3/2 for 2. Great body for that price. And then if we can get a good look at their hand with a Thoughtseize or an Inquisition, we can figure out what they're planning on playing in the next turns and hopefully get a little bit of extra value out of the Silencer. Elite Spellbinder is all over the place. We're going to remove a card from their hand, make it a lot harder for them to cast. And then in some games, we might even bring in the Drannith Magistrate from the sideboard. That means they can't actually cast those cards that we tax because we put them in exile. And this card says your opponents can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hands. A pretty cool little synergy between Elite Spellbinder and Drannith Magistrate. And then the final card here is Redain. Redain's front side and back side are both fantastic. Of course, a 2/3 Vigilance with flying is a great beater. This deck is mostly going to win in the air, I believe, with Redain, Spellbinder, and Rankle. We'll talk about Gideon in a second, but a lot of our fight is going to be in the air. And this is going to tax our opponent's big things, their Time Walks and their Wrath of Gods and so forth. Valkmira is really important, especially if red-based decks are popping up all over the place, especially if it's something like a Goblins deck that can't get out of Lord. Valkmira just shuts them down. Thermal Alchemist, a card that I love and is so close to my heart, just completely becomes useless in the face of a Valkmira. So I don't think you can discount either side of this card. And then the last card that I want to talk about as far as spells go is Gideon Blackblade. This guy is just a monster. I actually absolutely love playing with Gideon in the Mardu Vehicles deck from last week. Sorry, brain fart. It did a lot of work in that video, and I'm hoping it's going to be one of the main beaters in this deck as well. Giving something lifelink, especially if we can give it to an Elite Spellbinder later in the game, is going to be very helpful. Maybe something needs Indestructible. Overall, super great card to have in the main. And then one land is very important, Castle Locklane. This deck can run out of steam very quickly, so I put in 2 Castle Locklanes just in case we start flooding out a bit. Maybe we can refill our hands with this. The rest of the sideboard choices are typical things. Authority of the Consul, of course, for our Goblins and Elves matchups, anything that we need to slow down. Rest in Peace if we run into some graveyard strategies. And Baneslayer Angel, just in case we need some big thing to come in, give us a little bit of lifelink, and so on. So that's the deck. Gonna run it through some games and see how it goes. See you over there. All right, Orzhov Taxes or Orzhov Mid-Range, whatever you want to call it. Time to grind out some opponents, be super disruptive and annoying, and then hopefully have a few creatures that can get in and finish off the game. Opening hand looks okay. Our lands are a little annoying with this Isolated Chapel, not having a Plains or a Swamp, but I still think we're going to go Concealed Courtyard turn 1 into a Thoughtseize, see what the opponent's up to, try to disrupt them, and then if we do draw something that we can play out as a land, Silver Quill Silencer will be a great follow-up on turn 2. Vanishing Verse, very interesting card. Wondering how y'all feel about that one. I kind of discounted it, but I've come right around on it lately. So, I guess this is a pretty easy choice against the Orzhov Auras deck. We take the creature they need to put auras on, and we miss on our land. That's fine. We can play out a Silver Quill Silencer, probably naming the Mire's Grasp, just because we know that's what they're going to use to kill our Silencer. Sure. Take a look at some of these other auras. Ooh, pretty good there. What are they going to put on it? Hopefully they don't put the ghost form on it. No. Alright, we're going to get some pretty good value here. Now, I've got to read this card. Whenever an enchanted creature dies, this is brutal for the opponent. They are not getting any extra value from that Eidolon because it's only when it dies, and the Vanishing Verse was able to exile the Eidolon. We're still not hitting our lands, and that's pretty annoying. So let's put this on Luris. If they want to put out Luris, that's fine. This deck is playing 23 or 24 lands. I can't remember the number exactly. 23, I think, which is a huge amount of lands for me. I like my 18 land hands or 18 land decks. Oh, look at this. Would you look at this? So we get to eat the Skyclave, or eat the Luris with the Skyclave, excuse me. I'm just so excited. It's working. And yeah, the opponent's not having any of it. Even on 2 lands, the deck is functioning so well. All right. Luris deck, we probably want to bring in Rest in Peace. Doomblade, not very good in this particular matchup. Declaration Stone, very good in this matchup. Also, I don't know, maybe having a couple of Wrath of Gods would be alright. Let's put them in for now. So, we have plenty of removal to deal with what the opponent's doing. What are we taking out? Wow, everything in our deck is kind of good. I don't think we need Redain necessarily. They don't have a lot of spells that she's going to tax, and I don't think Valkmira is particularly good in this matchup. I'm also not a huge fan of Rankle in this one because they tend to go wide and create 1/1s that can clutter up the board. I'm wondering now if I've gone a little bit too heavy on the removal, but I think if I just keep the opponent down, they're not going to be able to come back from any of this. All right, let's take out 1 and 1 of the disruptions. I think we can just focus on taking apart their creatures and not worry about taking apart their hands so much. Okay, opening hand. Well, you know what? It's not bad. I think I am, in fact, going to keep this, hoping that this Wrath of God kind of goes the distance. The Silver Quill Silencer, pretty good there. We can Thoughtseize again. Wow. Poor opponent. Alright. Well, I don't mind throwing this out, naming Deadweight. If they decide to put the Deadweight on it, they still take 3. We draw a card. No problem. They found the Mire's Grasp. Okay, good for them. Fatal Push. So I think now we're just in a position where we're going to grind them down. Sure, Luris. Could be good if they have a land plus Lurrus here. So they can get Lurrus plus the core Spirit Dancer out, but they're not going for that. Okay. I'm going to put the Castle Lockline out, thinking maybe I'll draw. I'm not going to take 6 damage at this point in the game. No. Wow, they are terrified of what we have in our hand, and probably rightfully so. Alright. Let's just keep putting out lands. Well, that's a good one. Come on, opponent, do something. Do something cool. Alright, Lurrus. Lurrus is a little annoying because we can't hit it with either of these. So I think I'm probably just going to Skyclave it. And then if they kill our Skyclave with the dead weight, we can push the element, illusion. Yep, sure. I wonder if they'll try to load up the illusion. That'd be really great if we can get a little extra value. No. Alright, we'll push it. We have so much to murder them with. I was just about to say, I really want a Gideon off the top right now. Because old Gideon is going to be real great. They have a Heliod's Punishment. Excuse me, in hand. Heliod's Punishment not going to be very good against this fella. Alright, take 4. This feels oppressive.
I don't think so.
Wow. Poor opponent. Okay, Heliod's Punishment, sure.
I will lend you my strength.
Land for the opponent. Okay. Keep going. Keep going, Gideon. Grind him down. 2 more turns. Yeah. Wow, what a performance out of the gate for this deck. It feels so good every time I play with it. Let's go on to the next one. Alright, match 2 with the Orzhov Disruption deck. Orzhov Taxes. I have no idea what to name this thing. But it is obnoxious. Alright. We'll keep this. Go first. Thought seize the opponent. See what we're dealing with. Okay. Well, all of that is really annoying. Yeah, Bishop of Wings is hard for us to deal with. We do have tons of stuff to deal with what they're going to be playing with, especially games 2 and 3. And Gideon is pretty cool there. So we'll throw out a Thalia. Thalia, not very good in the face of a Bishop of Wings. Okay. So I think I actually probably want to Skyclave, or hit their Skyclave, because I don't want them to be able to kill our Gideon so easily. So we'll do that. And just pass. It's possible last turn I probably should have thought seize instead of putting a Thalia, knowing that the bishop was coming down, and Thalia is only going to tax our side of the board. Okay. Need the removal. That's not removal. Alright. Let's put out Redain. The thought here is that if they found Collected Company, Redain's going to slow that down quite a bit. She's also a pretty good blocker in the air here. However, if they have another Angel, they'll be able to get to the... okay, so this game is very much over. We'll have to go to the next one. We'll take it. This is going to get out of control so quickly, though. Yeah. Ah, alright. So, next game. Bad start for it. We need to bring in our removal package. So, Doomblade. Pretty good. Wrath of God, gonna be good. Declaration Stone for all those pesky angels, gonna be good. I don't know. That might be too much removal at that point. I think I'm going to go down a couple Thought Seizes because they're only going to hit collected companies for the most part in their deck. I'm wondering if I should go down the Elite Spellbinders because they just don't match up very well in the air. Like, literally, they die to everything. A Youthful Valkyrie is going to challenge one of them, so I think we just have to make sure they don't have any creatures, and then we establish our board and get in. Also, not super sure about Thalia in this one. I think she's just going out because she's going to be useless. All right, we'll try it. So threats in our deck, a little bit low. I'm wondering where that balance is between threats and removal. This is... yeah, sure. This is a deck that's a little bit outside of my wheelhouse compared to the normal stuff that I play. Obviously, if you've been watching my videos, you know I like aggro decks, and I tend to stay away from black. Okay. Let's see what they got in their hand. Okay. Just get rid of them. So they do have the Collected Company there though. They don't have a green source yet, though. Soul Warden, cool. Wrath of God. We'll get extra value. I know the opponent's gonna play out that Righteous Valkyrie. No Angels player can ever resist playing out a Righteous Valkyrie. Now I gotta hope I hit the land. Oh, I don't. All right. Well, now we're kind of in a position where we have to hit the Righteous Valkyrie and pass, because I couldn't let the speaker get to 27. Sure. Wait, we'll hit the speaker. Hit the land. So, do I want to Declaration Stone the Soul Wardens? Do I want to wait in Wrath of God something? Or do I just want to play out a Rankle? Let's just play out a Rankle. And I don't think I'm going to choose anything. I don't want to discard either of these. I could draw a card. You know what? Let's draw. Find a land. Resplendent Angel, sure. So, not a good position for us. What do I do here? Maybe I should have Declaration Stone the Wardens and then done that. I think I'm going to sacrifice. And you know what? Yeah. Just sack. They'll sack a Warden, and then we'll hit the Resplendent Angel with the Declaration Stone. Ooh. Desperation Crack on the clue. I'm surprised I haven't found the fourth land. Really unfortunate. There it is. Okay. Well, we are hitting our lands. Wow, they choose to get rid of the Collected Company, expecting not to draw the green source. Oh, they draw the green source. That's painful. Maybe they have other ones in hand. Kind of the vibe I'm getting. All right. Let's attack. I suspect a Collected Company here, and then we can wipe the board. Yeah. Hopefully they don't gain too much life from whatever they hit here. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. They're going to get spirits, which is quite annoying. I think it's okay to play with the planes. We don't have any more rankles to cycle our lands or discard cards to draw cards kind of thing. Down to 7. Looking a little precarious. Well, I think we got a name collected company. Hold up the Murderous Rider. Okay, so they did have the Coco. Hey, Fatal Push, not bad. Too bad our mana tapped incorrectly. Oh. Who's this one's that one? Gaining it from that one? I don't understand how it works. Well, not the performance we were kind of hoping for from in game 2, but hey, whatever. Angel deck rolled over us. Let's go to the next one. All right, match number 3. I thought the Angels deck matchup would go a little bit smoother. That was actually my first time facing that matchup with this one, and I kind of thought, oh, we have so much spot removal, we should be able to hold them down. But the thing is, like, they put out so many creatures. Yeah, didn't go nearly as well as I thought it would. Our opponent is on a Yorion deck, so I think we can keep this. Turn 1 Thoughtseize. And then we'll start ripping apart their hand with the Spellbinder. Oh. Okay. Well, we'll do that. Okay. Should put out the Godless Shrine one. Maybe. Okay, should be Elite Spellbinder time. We're gonna Vanishing Verse it. It doesn't matter what they take here, though. Okay, so they decide to go with the Skyclave. That's probably the right move. We'll hit the Spellbinder. We're going to put out our Spellbinder and then hit their Chupacabra, probably. Yeah. So, well, the Blossoms and Agadeem's in hand. Very unusual deck from the opponent. Something I haven't noticed before in the format. Especially Acquisition Expert. Cool card. I don't know how to use it very well, but... Okay, let's get in. And I think this is coming in. Unfortunately, Vanishing Verse is going to be really terrible against Yorion. And if Yorion comes down, like, I don't know what I can even do against it. That might be something to consider if I remake the deck or tweak the deck a little bit. Maybe Fatal Push is not the best thing. Maybe it should be Blood Chief's Thirst, because Blood Chief's Thirst at least gives us that wiggle room to be able to destroy whatever we want. Okay, Knight of Autumn, sure. Well, that Thoughtseize is probably the best card for us, because if they put Yorion in their hand, then we can take it out. So hopefully they do that. They could also just Chupacabra finally. Kind of feels like what's happening. Yep. Chupacabra. Yeah. Gonna get in for 2. That's fine. I think I am gonna draw a card, lose 3 life. Wow, wow. Maybe they're kind of expecting the Thoughtseize, so they're not going to put the Yorion in the hand. But, I mean, the Yorion's going to be 8 mana to put in the hand and play out. I don't know. Maybe it's not too far away. Wow. What a card. What a card. I think I'm getting rid of the Vanishing Verse. It's not really helping me much in this particular matchup. Acquisition Expert. Oh, that's real bad for us. So I only have to choose one. I think I gotta choose this. I still gotta deal with the Orion. It's the only way I can deal with it. I'm not gonna give them a 4/4. Fatal Push is maybe okay. I can hit the Acquisition Expert. Okay. Let's kill the bell. Pass it back. This is costing 7. Oh, they find the land for her. Okay, what does Kaya do?
I won't stand by as innocent
It's really
people
good.
are slaughtered.
So she'll probably exile the Elite Spellbinder. Yeah.
It's the
And
least
now
chosen.
I'm in a bad spot. Okay. We'll name Yorion. I'm kind of thinking the opponent's patience is really going to pay off for them with that Yorion. If they hit a land here, they are in fact at 8 mana, and then they can do what we talked about. I talked about.
Here.
Okay.
Let me help.
So little token on the Acquisition Expert, which means blocking it is going to be questionable. Put Yorion in your hand. Do it. Ephemerate. Oh my god. Well, that's fine. We can fizzle the Ephemerate, but they're still gonna get the Thoughtseize, I think, right? That's how that works. Yeah. Brutal. So now the opponent can freely put the Yorion in hand, and we need to top deck a Thoughtseize now. And if we don't, I don't know. Oh man. Okay. Well. This one just didn't work out quite so well. So now they play the Yorion, they bounce everything, and I think we are so far behind. There's no way we can possibly come back. We'll see what we draw off the Silver Quill. I think there's no doubt in my mind. They might... No, they're going to put something and then exile everything. Really, really neat Urian bounce kind of deck. I played a Ephemerate deck 2 weeks ago or so, and it felt a little bit weak. Maybe a build like this might be in a better position.
Don't worry.
I don't know what the opponent's waiting so long to, make these moves. It's a really bad position for us.
So this is gonna be one of those jobs.
Now they don't get the activation on Kaya, but still, she's going to return to the field. They gain some life, draw a card, and we draw a land. They're going to get in for 6 here. I'm good with this one. Pretty bad. So we need to fix our removal for Yorion. Actually, and just in general, Vanishing Verse, feeling real bad here. I feel like we can bring in a Wrath of God. Huh. I kind of don't mind Jareth Magistrate here. Bring in the Balefuls. And I think I want a Baneslayer Angel. I don't think Rankle's going to do much. In fact, Rankle's feeling a little bit clunky in this deck to me. Gonna take out one Kozilek, one Fatal Push, and try something like that. All right, game 2. See if we can bounce back. Things haven't been really working out as well as they did in that first game for us. Opening hand. I think it's okay to keep. I'll lead on the luck lane. And then I guess next turn we have a blind name with Silver Quill. What do we name? What do they play out? Black. I think I'm going with the Acquisition Expert. Thoughtseize for the opponent, sure. I guess there's a little bit... No. Draenith, I was going to say there's a little nombo with Murderous Rider and Draenith Magistrate, but it's only your opponent's. Non-symmetrical cards are so powerful. Murderous Rider would have been a good draw against the Urian. That was one that I didn't consider. Okay, we'll do that. Play to the board, sure. And then if they do put out like an Acquisition Expert, I can hit it with the Fatal Push before it resolves, because we're going to lose it anyways. Takes 2, sure. Could be the Dryad here. Could be a Skyclave. And then it's a Dryad. Okay. Gonna put counters on it. Nope, gain some life. Alright. Well, if this were a Bloodchief's Thirst, things would be going a little bit better for us. But a Fatal Push... Little clunky. Maybe, yeah, maybe it's supposed to be 2 Bloodchief's Thirsts. Wow. Yep. Well, I think I'm in desperation mode. Oh, I can't even do that. I was hoping I could. Too bad here. Need some playables, deck. Okay, opponent gets in for 3. They're taking their time with a lot of their decisions. I don't know, I feel like they should be rolling along a little bit faster than this. Thoughtseize, sure. Okay, so we do get to draw, take some damage, Inquisition, and a Skyclave. Well, at least I can do this. We can hit their Skyclave. I think that's probably best. Okay. And then start getting in for some damage. The Extinction Event, it's a little... Yeah, it could be real bad on even. That being said, if it is on even, we can revolt. We can't revolt. 2 mana. Hopefully they don't realize that. Yep. Brutal. Gonna need this Castle Lock lane to come up real big. Oh, Silver Quill. So what do I name with this? Do I name Mythos? Yeah. Gotta double check. That's what it's called. Not a card I'm so familiar with, but I think that's fine. And then we still have a draw with the Castle Lock lane if need be. Okay, is this a board wipe? Feels like a board wipe. When an opponent does something like that, it feels like a board wipe. Oh, Charming Prince. That's weird. Scry 2? Try to find the land. Okay. I'm a little worried about trying to fatally push. If you watch MTG Remy, you know about fatally push. I don't know if I want to fatal push the Charming Prince because he might have an Ephemerate. I'm really worried about that, but I think I have to try. They do have the... They do have it. Alright. So, that's kind of the blowout. Last couple games have been real rough for us. Wow. Ugh. Alright. Old Gideon is not the worst. Unfortunately, he will die.
Share in my light.
Potentially. Oh, rebound. So it'll save our Gideon, actually. But this turn, Yorion's coming down, and unless I rip like a Murderous Rider or Baleful Mastery, I'm not going to be able to get through that Yorion. Opponent might be thinking of letting the Ephemerate fizzle so they can keep both creatures on the field and then forcing me to block with the Skyclave Apparition. No. Okay, they decide to go with that. Gain some life, sure. Okay, Gideon, I'm assuming, is getting tapped for 3. No, ignoring Gideon. This can actually destroy Gideon, yeah. But it does draw us a card and deals a little damage to them. Oh, come on. Really? That's an game. This hurts, but... Alright. Well, that's... What can you do about that? In the top 19, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. In the top 19, we've only had 8 real spells. Alright. Well, good game to the opponent. GG's. Let's see what we drew. Oh, we'll draw one more. I guess they're going to get a peek at our wonderful lands. And we draw that. Alright. So, did not go as planned, but that's alright. One more. Alright. 4th match. Gotta rebound here. Okay, opening hand looks very good. We get our Fatal Push if we want it. Oh, opponent playing Fancy Lands. Fatal Push and Thoughtseize off the start. Always good. Oh gosh, this... Alright, let's get rid of the Collected Company while we can. We can push the Luminarch this turn. Alright. Alright, we respond, push that, and they're going to eat something. I can't imagine what they're going to take. Maybe it's a Skyclave. Yeah. Wow. Well, I think I have to Skyclave this and then hope to be able to get the other Luminarch soon enough. But the Elite Spellbinder in the air dealing 3 damage to us a turn is going to be real rough. Could have put out Redain, a way of challenging it, but... Okay. Oh. So the opponent is wise to the plan. I guess I'm doing this. Good hit. And we can put out our air support. No attack. This Luminarch is going to be troublesome. Really good. Can't do anything about that. Well, Verdane can get in the air. And I guess we put this out. What do we name? They've gone through just one Skyclave, so I guess it's going to be Skyclave. And then I may as well get out the Thalia as well. Things look real dicey, though. I don't know what to do about this Lovestruck Beast or the Magistrate. They're just going to overpower us. Yeah. I think I'm taking 6. Feels good. Yeah. I'll keep it in hand. I think we're going for the triple block. Then we at least get access to our Skyclave Apparition again. Down to 1, they get a 3/3 back. Ooh, and a Mammoth to follow it up. Yeah, it's just not working out for us, is it? The deck, I think, can perform very well, but the last couple games have not been showcasing it whatsoever. It's been just kind of the most inopportune draws, and the opponent going to trample over us with a Mammoth and probably a 4/4 Illusion. Oh yeah, okay, so we just lose our board here. Really good sacrifice on that Oasis there. Yeah, so we can live a turn. No, we can't even live a turn. Okay. Rough. Let's go to the next one. How are we sideboarding? Well, Wrath of God going to be okay. I think Baneslayer Angel is going to be very good in this matchup. I feel like I just want the removal package. Go down a couple of Thoughtseizes. I feel like Gideon's not going to live too long, but we'll see. Keeping a couple. Rankle. I don't like him trading in the air for a Spellbinder. And then Thalia seems pretty useless in this matchup. Alright, come on. I know this Orzhov deck can perform better than this. That first matchup against the Orzhov Auras deck was so oppressive, and now we've been getting just kind of bullied. Get to play first. Opening hand, real bad. Not going to do anything until turn 3. No. Alright. Keep that. Let's throw away the Skyclave. Alright. Sure. Let's push it while we can. Brutal. So that feels like a setting up for a collected company. Let's see. That was a good land. Yes, there's the collected company. Okay. So their hand is awfully scary with 2 Harbingers and 2 Deck in Stone. 2 of our removal spells are just blanked with the Harbinger. Okay. And now they're getting ever closer to that collected company. Just need one more. Which makes me wonder if I should just kill the Llanowar Elf while I can. I'm going to kill the Llanowar Elf. And maybe that will incentivize them to put out the second Garrick's Harbinger. Oh, they hit a collected company. Running hot. Okay. So they're going to be able to take a Wrath of God, but we can still have a follow-up Wrath. They don't. And then when we kill the Apparition, we get our 3/3 back. I really don't like how they did the parallax there. I don't know if you noticed it. But we are doing that. No question about that. They found another elite spellbinder. It's very annoying. Okay, challenge ya. I wonder if I should have fired off that Wrath of God last turn. Because we are not winning this race. Scavenging Ooze is good. They play the Ooze. Okay. Yeah. Baneslayer Angel's going to be real good on the follow-up turn. But they have the Declaration in Stone, so it's basically useless. Oof. Main board or main phase collected company is a little weird. All right, so it's all falling apart. We find the worst land that we could find in our deck. We just put out a Murderous Rider and pray. But they remove it. They deal 5 damage to us. Yeah. Oh, they can actually get in for lethal because they have the Luminarch Aspirant. You had this, though, opponent. And we whiffed on the land. I was kind of hoping there might be some chance if we find our land, but not happening. Wrap up. All right, so the Orzhov Taxes deck did not go well near the end. That first game we came out very hot. It felt very oppressive. And then we just felt like we were being oppressed the rest of the games. I couldn't gain any traction whatsoever. Things just didn't pan out the way I thought they would. Silver Quill Silencer got a few hits in, but for the most part, it was just a very vulnerable card. Didn't feel good. We ran into one match where Vanishing Verse was just blanked, but I think that's just bad luck in that case. I feel like still Vanishing Verse is a good card for the most part and going to be quite effective in the meta. I don't think you're going to run into many of those Urian bounce decks, but if they do become big, maybe not where you want to be. Fatal Push should certainly be a Blood Chief's Thirst. I will be making that change. I feel like the instant speed part of Fatal Push is just not good enough to keep it in over the flexibility of the Blood Chief's Thirst. Rankle also not very impressive to me. I expected it to be a lot better on turn 4, but it never felt good. We did get it at one game, but it just didn't seem like any of the 3 choices were that great. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just playing Rankle a little incorrectly. Something felt bad with that card. The only card that did feel really good is my boy Gideon here. When I did get him on the field, he took over that one game, and that was a really great situation. But the only other time we found him was when we were super behind in the match, and yeah, it just didn't work. Overall, I think there is something to this deck, and I think somebody's going to eventually figure it out and break it, but something isn't quite working with the configuration that I have right now. I would love to hear some of your advice, things that you would add, some things that you would take out. Orzhov is definitely outside of my wheelhouse, so I need advice as far as this deck goes. That being said, my next deck is also going to be another Orzhov deck, but a little bit more grounded than this type of deck. Anyways, if you made it to the end, thanks for watching. Take care for now, and see you in the next one.